Coming up on AgweekTV, our COVID-19 coverage continues with a look at the impact on the ag economy in the region and rural hospitals. The nation's largest ethanol producer idles plants, and a longtime NDSU soil scientist is retiring and leaves a lasting mark on the region's farmers. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. The COVID-19 pandemic is a black swan event like very few in history, and it will have a long tail in terms of its economic impact on the country. This week I talked to experts about its effect on the ag economy. Noted economists say the effect is more muted here in the region versus the coast because of the dominance of the agricultural industry. However, it won't be a V-shaped recovery.
No, it's looking more like a U at best, meaning been a sharp downturn. We're going to move along the bottom for some time. We're going to be in a recession. That would mean 2 quarters of negative growth.
Goss thinks the economic recovery will be slower than in 2008, but fortunately, he doesn't see a depression.
Right now, on the side, for this part of the country, on the side of a recession, but a severe recession, more severe than the 2008-2009 recession.
Goss says the pain has been felt hard in agriculture, especially in the livestock sector. So he predicts more farm bankruptcies, resulting in a structural change in agriculture.
I think more likely we're going to see large farms buying up smaller farms. So you'll see the average farm size increasing, and that's going to be tough for rural economic development.
He sees a recovery in farm prices by year-end if trade and shipping resumes and as consumers return to regular buying and eating habits. The American Farm Bureau estimates from January 14th to April 3rd, COVID-19 resulted in a 26 to 36% drop in dairy prices, 31% drop in hog futures, and 25% slide in cattle futures. In response to COVID-19, the $2 trillion CARES Act does contain $23.5 billion of assistance for agriculture. $9.5 billion goes to direct payments and $14 billion to replenish the Commodity Credit Corporation. Ag lenders say that aid will stem some of the losses for producers, but not all.
And will it be enough to replace losses dollar for dollar? Probably not, especially in some cases, but it'll make a difference. It'll help, and that's really what it needs to do.
He says they don't have details yet from USDA on how those dollars will be disseminated. The list of farm interests that are lobbying USDA to make their case for how those dollars should be allocated is rapidly growing. Farmers are part of the Small Business Administration loans under the CARES Act, but some worry that government glitches will put them behind a flood of applicants for a finite amount of money. Accountant Mark Giddings has been dealing with the Payroll Protection Program. It's a $349 billion financial aid program for business owners designed to help companies through the COVID-19 crisis. Farmers can apply through a local lender, but the lender has to be registered as approved through the SBA. Giddings says volumes will be high. Farmers and others can benefit from using an agent like an accountant to make sure their application is in order.
I mean, when they say same-day funding, that's assuming the package is complete and they just have to approve it. If they have to put it together like many ag lenders do on other loans, that's going to take them more time. And they don't have the time right now because they're just being flooded with these applications because it's every kind of business. Applications
started April 3rd. The loan programs last until June 30th or until the funds are gone. Farm state lawmakers are looking for immediate assistance for cattle producers hit hard by COVID-19. Iowa's Joni Ernst wants direct assistance through the Commodity Credit Corporation, additional CCC purchases to assist food pantries, and more money for food inspections. Other lawmakers and NCBA have written the president asking for another investigation into packer price fixing and the influence of speculators on the live cattle futures. They also want the Trump administration to ensure packing plants stay open. POET announced it's idling ethanol plants in Chancellor, South Dakota, and Ashton and Coon Rapids, Iowa, and delaying startup of a new plant in Indiana. This will impact around 130 employees and stop ethanol grind.
It'll shut down about 330 million gallons of production from POET facilities and also affect about 110 million bushels of corn demand from those plants as well.
It's a result of record low ethanol prices and lower gas demand tied to COVID-19, plus the OPEC price war.
We've seen demand destruction for fuel from 55 and predictions up to 75%. Our industry is going to see about 8 billion gallons of demand destruction, which is half of our industry at least.
The plants could be idle through harvest. POET operates 27 plants and hasn't determined if they'll shut other facilities, but they've cut production at some plants and stopped buying corn at 7. An annualized reduction of 8 billion gallons of gas demand would equate to 2.7 billion bushels of corn. Now, as a result, farm state lawmakers have asked USDA to direct farm aid to biofuels producers. In other ethanol news, the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals rejected a request for a rehearing from oil refining companies challenging a court decision on small refinery exemptions. The court's ruling effectively forces EPA to dramatically reduce the number of waivers they can grant in the future under the RFS, a major blow to the refining industry. Despite the pandemic, farmers and ag businesses have to continue preparing for spring planting. Carl Peterson, president of Peterson Farm Seed, says they still need to get seed to their customers. About half their employees can work from home, but the rest must continue their regular jobs, conditioning, bagging, and delivering product as safely as possible.
There's a lot of uncertainty in agriculture generally. This spring, with the season that we had last year, even more so. If you add this whole COVID-19, it does create a lot of uncertainty. But one thing that we're doing everything we can do is to make sure that when the farmer shows up to get his seed in the spring and it's ready to plant, that seed will be there.
Peterson doesn't expect the situation to affect their supply chain, but not every farmer has made their planting decisions yet because of last fall's wet weather. Coming up on AgweekTV, what kind of resources do rural hospitals have to handle the spread of COVID-19?
Strong buildings and strong communities start with strong connections. Butler builders understand this, the importance of every piece and every part. Every bolt, every beam, and every handshake. Each connection, a strong one. Built on quality and trust. Built on people.
For more information, go online to gatewaybuilding.com. At Superior Grain Equipment, we're committed to quality and service, offering you the best in grain storage and dryers for any size operation. Our experts will work with you to determine the most efficient and economical storage solution for your needs. We help protect your bottom line and your future with the industry's best bins and warranties. Make the superior choice for protection today and tomorrow with Superior Grain Equipment.
Luckin Trucks and Parts sells quality used parts for all makes and models. With over 50 acres of trucks and parts and new inventory arriving daily. Family owned and operated since 1966, Luckin's specializes in the sale of quality used medium to heavy duty truck parts as well as pre-owned trucks, trailers, and construction equipment. If it's on a truck, we got it. Call us today and let us get you your part.
Your local North Dakota Case IH dealer about the new Speed Tiller high-speed disc.
Be ready for the challenging field conditions you face with the Summers VRT Renegade. With on-the-fly adjustment, including blade angle from 0 to 19 degrees, the VRT Renegade gives you unprecedented flexibility for the field results you want, spring or fall. Go to summersmfg.com or visit your local dealer to learn more about the VRT Renegade and North America's broadest line of tillage equipment from North Dakota-based Summers Manufacturing.
Welcome back. With the COVID-19 pandemic continuing to spread, how vulnerable and important are rural hospitals? Katie Pinky talked to one expert, Dr. Mary Alland, to get her thoughts.
How do you feel the response has been from rural healthcare facilities regarding COVID-19?
In rural, when you look at we have 36 critical access hospitals. You have to assess, are you one of the 36 that has any capabilities at all to take care of an inpatient, sick, COVID virus positive patient? There's huge resources to take care of them. And so if you're a critical access hospital that does not have that capability, then where your role is, what you need to do as a community is develop a very solid plan so that if you have that individual in your community, you are going to very efficiently and safely transport that patient to the center where they will have the resources and the expertise to take care of the COVID positive sick patient.
I've heard assumptions of rural people that somehow it wouldn't impact, COVID-19 wouldn't impact our communities and people. Now we're starting to see numbers in rural counties and rural areas across the upper Midwest. Do you have any recommendations for the rural people?
Take it seriously. And until those smarty pantses in the academic centers that are figuring out the cures for this, we need to be proactive.
How do you see this possibly impacting healthcare for the long term?
I call it reverse triage. Freeing up the healthcare providers in our bigger cities or wherever you're taking care of them, so they take care of the COVID virus 19 patients. Free them up from the patients who do not need that and utilize the critical access hospitals as that kind of a backflow, so to speak. In the end, I think we could have a revitalization and acknowledgement of the value that the critical access hospitals can have in the delivery of healthcare.
Dr. Mary Allen, you've given us a lot to think about. We appreciate you joining us on AgweekTV. Thank you.
Several distilleries around the country have shifted their production from the kind of alcohol you drink to the type used in hand sanitizers. One in southeastern Minnesota that uses grain from the owner's farm has started manufacturing hand sanitizer to help in the fight against COVID-19. Harmony Spirits, a craft distillery, altered its operation after guidelines for distillers changed and hand sanitizer became hard to find in stores. Co-owner Jim Simpson says it's good to be able to stay busy and do something to help.
You know, it definitely helps to have some income coming in right now as our tasting room isn't open, and that was our main source of income currently. So it's definitely nice to have something to do, because we were all sitting around fairly bored out of our minds, and then it makes the bank a lot happier that we can afford to continue to pay our mortgage.
Simpson says the sanitizer is being sold at local businesses. They're also selling it to the public from their tasting room in Harmony. When AgweekTV returns, a noted soil scientist is leaving a legacy among farmers in the region.
Make sure your farm equipment is season ready with an uptime inspection from your Titan Machinery service professionals. Titan Machinery's team of Case IH certified technicians has the knowledge and experience to find, correct, and prevent mechanical issues that could shut you down during the season. Your planting and harvest windows are short. For genuine Case IH parts and service, schedule an off-season uptime inspection at Titan Machinery today. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH dealer.
Modal's Truck and Trailer Sales builds customized trailers to fit farmers' needs. Whether you're spraying, fertilizing, or planting, we build 28-foot 2-tank trailers all the way up to 48-foot 4-tank trailers and plenty in between, including field-ready drop decks, flatbeds, and enclosed reefer trailers. We have plenty of inventory ready to go at our Wheaton, Minnesota location, but if you don't see what you're looking for at modalsales.com, give us a call and we'll talk about building you the perfect trailer.
Ready for more? The new Fendt 900 Vario is impressive on every level. With groundbreaking features, you'll be ready for everyday challenges now and in the future. New smart connectivity solutions make the Fendt 900 series from Butler Machinery an intelligent choice for your farm. We're also proud to carry the Fendt Ideal, a new combine for a new era of farming. Designed to be automated in operation, the Ideal combine is already setting industry standards for efficiency and output. Visit butlermachinery.com to schedule a demo at your operation.
Dig, lay, and bury drain tile all in one pass.
with the Crary Tile Pro Plow. The Crary Tile Pro Plow lays tile up to 7 feet deep with boot sizes of 4 to 12 inches. Advantages of installing drain tile to your field provides increased overall yield, improved soil moisture levels, and controls soil erosion. It pays to tile with a Crary Tile Pro. To locate a dealer near you, visit www.crarytilepro.com.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
A highly regarded NDSU soil scientist will soon be retiring. Dr. Jay Goose spent 40 years teaching students and tackling farmers' problems. He's considered the world's leading expert on one of the biggest problems known to soybean growers. Mikkel Pates has this week's AgWeek cover story.
Jay Goose grew up in a cattle farm in Iowa, but tough times in the late 70s and early 80s meant he wouldn't be returning to the farm after college. Instead, Goose went on to help other farmers solve some of their biggest production problems.
I've been pouring my heart and soul into finding solutions for iron deficiency chlorosis. It is just such a wipeout of a problem for the farmers who have the problem.
The expansion of soybean acres in this region has also brought to the surface the problem of iron chlorosis. It turns soybeans yellow and costs yield. And despite being possibly the world's leading expert in this problem, Goose says that even he doesn't have all the answers.
I've given up trying to predict when you're going to have a good or a bad chlorosis year. In general, it's wetness and that makes it. But some years it's just so much worse than other years, and I can't tell you exactly what causes it.
We are just so fortunate to have people like Dr. Goose in North Dakota.
During his wide-ranging career, Goose has also had a major impact on thousands of NDSU students like Sarah Lovis. She's now a farmer and crop consultant, and she gives Dr. Goose credit for inspiring her curiosity.
I love looking at how things work in the field and asking why things are, and I think I probably maybe got that from him. It's quite a loss to lose Dr. Goose. I think we're all going to miss him.
Goose had planned to retire in June, but has delayed his retirement to the end of 2020. In Fargo, North Dakota, this is Mikkel Pates for AgWeek.
The temperatures in our region have definitely turned cooler. How long will this last? Here's your AgriWeather outlook.
Weather portion of AgWeek now in the 2-week outlook. For the most part, if you live in the northern plains, it's going to be fairly cold, disappointingly cold from Easter right on through the middle part of the month. Cold weather has dropped into the northern plains, upper Midwest, and it's not showing any sign of leaving. We'll take a look at the pattern that's delivering this particular wave of cold weather and what that means perhaps for planting season in the upper Midwest, northern plains. Well, on the other side of that, it does not look particularly stormy in the northern part of the country. Let's take a look at the jet stream first. Split flow across the Pacific. Jet right now is diving down. Easter Sunday has been very cold across the northern plains and upper Midwest, especially Montana, North and South Dakota. And this pattern is really only just beginning. It's going to stay fairly cold. Looks like as we go through this week, there will be a subtle relaxation of the cold in the second half of the week, and the cold will begin to retreat back toward Hudson Bay, but remain fairly chilly. Now, the demarcation here, when I draw cold, that means high temperatures generally near or below freezing. Okay, so we're talking low to mid 30s or even colder than that. The chilly weather is 30s and 40s and maybe a stray 50. So we're still talking pretty chilly weather as we go on toward the end of the week. And with this jet stream kind of reforming back here, as we go into the second week, you'll notice there will likely be another surge of fairly cold air. And this is kind of impressive because this is happening without a chain of snowstorms. You know, earlier in the month, we had a snowstorm that brought down a few days of very cold weather. This is just weather that's going to be unusually cold. So what does that mean for precipitation? I do see one system breaking out of the Rockies this week and producing a swath of snow. I think it's going to be south of North Dakota, but I can't say where it'll set up. South Dakota, Nebraska, might clip a portion of Iowa. There'll be some wet weather along the East Coast, not soaking wet weather, but some showers and rain. The one part of the country that does look fairly wet is the deep part of the Southeast and Florida. And I look for some persistent Rocky Mountain snows in the Four Corners area, mostly elevational stuff, but there may be some significant amounts. West Coast looks dry. As we move ahead to the second week, this will be April 19th through 25th. This persistent cold weather in the Rockies will continue to produce areas of moderately heavy snow in the Four Corners area, probably some further north. There will be some showers and some rain continuing down in Florida, but it looks like a relatively dry overall pattern into the northern plains. So once again, the 2-week outlook, even though we're in April, we're getting a cool pattern for the time being. So the cold snap will likely linger for a couple of weeks, but for most of the northern plains, upper Midwest, most parts that is, it will be cold, yet not particularly wet.
2020 has started off where 2019 left off, with a lot of uncertainty and concern. Is your farming operation ready to take the volatility this year has to offer? Do you have a marketing plan in place to take advantage of opportunity? Are you finding it hard to separate the noise from the news? Talk to the professionals at Martinson Ag. We can help you make sound risk management decisions that will help your operation survive during these unusual times.
Dynaflow is the ultimate high-volume water management pump. Whether you're experiencing flooding, emptying sloughs, transferring ponds, or working on irrigation, the Dynaflow pump works in as little as 18 inches of water and is designed to move 3,000 gallons per minute. The Dynaflow lift pump is the perfect upgrade to your drain tile system. Using line shaft turbine pump technology, these pumps are made to last while operating efficiently. Dynaflow drain tile pumps can move up to 1,500 gallons per minute, up to 3,400 feet away.
Strong buildings and strong communities start with strong connections. Butler builders understand this, the importance of every piece and every part. Every bolt, every beam, and every handshake. Each connection, a strong one. Built on quality and trust. Built on people.
For more information, go online to gatewaybuilding.com.
Steffes Group, selling land and the equipment to farm it since 1960. If you're interested in selling or have questions about our auction process, head to our website at steffesgroup.com to contact us at any one of our 4 locations located throughout the Midwest. You can also visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel to view all of our auction previews and recaps to stay up to date on the market in your area.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has a storage solution for you with a wide variety of bin options and accessories, along with site planning and superior customer service. Plus, from top to bottom, we offer the industry's best bins and warranties to protect your products and your grain storage investment. Get superior quality, protection, and reliability with generations of experience and dependability. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
AgweekTV Soy Insight, brought to you by the North Dakota Soybean Council.
NDSU Extension has issued new guidelines for soybean growers for the first time in a decade. Extension Soil Specialist Dave Franzen says despite challenges in the market, there is some good news for soybean growers. For one thing, fertilizer prices are down. Andy says the new guidelines don't advise putting on nitrogen, plus phosphate and foliar fertilizer recommendations have been lowered. In fact, he says about half the information in their soybean circular has been updated.
10-15 years ago, soybeans were an important crop for the southeast 2-3 counties in the state, but for the rest of it, it really wasn't any big deal. But now soybeans are just planted all over the state, and that's why the new research up in the northwest and the north central and the central part of the state, all of that had to be done because all soil fertility is local.
He says NDSU put out new recommendations for most other crops last year. All the new information is available online. Last year was a challenging year for ranchers, and this year is shaping up to be as well. North Dakota livestock producers got a break over the winter as milder conditions allowed them to stretch feed resources after a very wet 2019. But NDSU livestock specialist Miranda Meehan says pastures vary from too dry in north central and western North Dakota to too wet in the east. She's most concerned about grazing areas with too much water last fall. Many growers are low on forage, but she cautions them not to turn cattle out too early.
Those areas could be really stressed, and so we want to make sure that things are giving adequate time to recover before we're putting livestock out there.
She says producers should look for signs of stress on their grasses like lower productivity, bare ground, and the appearance of forbs. Still ahead on AgweekTV, if you're enjoying ham this Easter, you have a pig farmer to thank.
AgWeek brings you timely agriculture news from field to fork in digital, print, and television. Fresh every week, join Jenny Schlecht from the AgWeek editorial team and me, Al Windmill, from the sales and marketing team for a deeper dive into farm and ranch stories, along with guest interviews with personalities from the world of agriculture. If you're involved in farming, ranching, or agribusiness, the AgWeek podcast is the show for you.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Ham is a traditional Easter favorite, and a southeast Minnesota farm is proud to provide some of that holiday meat. Myrna and Randy Welter and their son Jason make their livelihood raising pigs on their 150 sow farrow to finish family farm in Stewartville, Minnesota. They also raise corn, soybeans, and hay on the 850-acre farm. Everyone in the Welter family has helped grow the operation since it started in 1989.
I've always wanted to raise pigs. I don't want to manage people. So we've always kept it to where we never wanted the farm to grow larger than what we could handle as a family.
The University of Minnesota named the Welters Olmsted County's Farm Family of the Year in 2007. Thanks for joining us for AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. We'll see you next week.